Okay, this is going to be a short, small lesson about resting membrane potential. Resting membrane potential, remember, is what a cell is at rest. Okay, so we know what, if you remember from last lesson, we learned about the different channels and everything that work in there, and we learned what it means to be polarized. Okay, so resting membrane potential is when the cell on the inside is at negative 70 millivolts. Now, think about this, guys. If I have a number line and I have positive 50 and I have positive 30, I hope y'all understand that the 50 is more positive than the 30 is. Okay? So if I have a negative 70 millivolt on the inside, that means that the potential difference from the outside and the inside is negative 70 millivolts. Let's look at a picture right here. And you can see that here's the voltmeter, okay? This is millivolts. This is the voltage on the outside of the cell. This is the extracellular fluid. And this is the voltage being measured on the inside of this cell. And the difference is negative 70. So let's say this has a charge of 120 and this has a charge of 50. Because if you look, you can see there's positives in here and there's negatives, and there's positives in here and negatives. But the thing is that this has more positives on this side. Okay? So the outside surface of the plasma membrane has a positive charge. The inside has a negative charge. Now remember, interstitial fluid is the fluid outside of the cell. So it has a lot of sodium and it has a lot of chloride. The cytosol, which remember is part of the cytoplasm, is rich in potassium with negative charges in ATP and amino acids. Remember, those are in proteins. This is maintained and switched and worked on all by leakage channels and the sodium-potassium pump that we talked about above, and we're going to talk about again repeatedly. Let's look at another slide. If you look at this slide right here, this shows a membrane at rest. I have a lot of sodiums here. I have some chloride ions. I have a few potassium running around. If I look here on the inside, I have a few potassiums, but not as many of the sodiums as I have. Remember, I've got more sodiums on the outside than I do potassiums on the inside. There's negative charges, but these proteins, the phosphate, the chloride ions, do not move in a electrical or in an action potential. Only the sodium and potassium move in an action potential. So I think that's what I want to say right now. And what we're going to talk about next is the generation of the action potential itself. With that, I'll have to do some definitions down here. And then we'll start talking about how the action potential actually travels through the plasma membrane. This is lesson 3 at the end. See you guys later.